Hi, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. I am Anupa and I welcome you to my show, which is Hyderabadi Cooking. Hyderabadi food or Hyderabadi cuisine is a legacy of the Nizams. It's heavily influenced by Turkish, Mughlai and Arabic cuisine. But the best part about Hyderabadi cuisine is that the spices are got from India. During one of my visits to Hyderabad, I came across this lovely pulao. It was very flavorful. It was made with chicken stock. So I'm going to be sharing that recipe with you. It's called Murg Yakhni Pulao, or it's also called Murg Yakhni Biryani. A very simple recipe but very flavorful. Since we'll be using quite a few of spices in this, let's quickly see what all do we need for this recipe. 800 grams of bone-in chicken, 1.5 cups of basmati rice which is soaked for about 25 minutes, 2 onions sliced, 2 onions fried, about 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 2 tablespoons of fennel seeds, 1 tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste, 1 tablespoon coriander seeds, salt to taste, 2 to 3 slit green chilies, 1 inch cinnamon, 1 blade of mace, 2 to 3 tablespoons of pure ghee, 2 to 3 cups of chicken stock, 3 to 4 green cardamoms, 5 to 6 cloves, 1 star anise, half teaspoon turmeric powder, 2 tablespoons green coriander, 2 bay leaves. So let's begin with Murg Yakhni Biryani. First of all, we have to lightly roast some spices. I have fennel, coriander seeds and cumin seeds. So let's lightly roast this. Some coriander seeds, fennel seeds and cumin. Make sure you toss them while you roast, as we do not want this to be absolutely brown, just lightly roast it. Whenever you use such spices, make sure you lightly roast them and then powder them, because while you roast, the actual flavors are emitted. That's it. Now we have to grind this to a fine powder, for which I have to use this mixie jar. So now let's grind this to a fine powder. You see this? Perfect. We will not strain this, leave it just like this. So this is done. We are done with the masala. Now we will cook the rice and the chicken together in a pressure cooker. I personally prefer using a pressure cooker because firstly the food cooks really fast, and secondly all the flavors are retained inside, and your biryani and the pulao is just moist, just perfect to serve. So I have this cooker with me, and I'm going to be using some pure ghee. Pure ghee, and especially if you have the desi ghee made at home, divine. Let's add some ghee here. If you are quite conscious about calories, you can use oil, but once in a while I'm sure you can try making this Yakhni Biryani with ghee. So that's the ghee, to which I'm going to be adding some whole spices. I have mace, I have cinnamon, I have star anise, cloves, cardamom and bay leaf. So one by one I am going to add to this. Then we will add some green cardamom, some cloves, 1 star anise. I have added 1 star anise. Don't add more than that because it's quite flavorful. It may make your biryani a little bit bitter. Cinnamon and just a little bit of mace. That's it. You have to wait till all the masalas give out its actual flavor into the ghee, and that's when you'll begin with the onions. I have onions which are nicely sliced, but first let's see what has happened to this. Wow, I can actually get the flavor of all the spices, which means I can now add in my onions. I have sliced them very fine so that it browns quickly. Make sure the onion that you cut are even. And then if you are slicing it thick, make sure it's absolutely even, thick slices. If it's fine, then make sure it's absolutely fine all over. Because if you cut thick and then you have some thin slices, the ones that are thin will just get burnt while the others will not brown. So please keep that in mind while you are cooking the onions. And especially when you're doing with biryanis, you have to be a little bit precise. We have to saute this till onions are lightly golden in color. Onion has quite a bit of sugar content in it. So when the sugar starts caramelizing, onions also start browning. That's why whenever you taste a brown onion, it's slightly sweet. So we'll let this brown. In the meanwhile, let's marinate the chicken. I have chicken on the bone here with me, to which I'll add some salt, some ginger garlic paste and some turmeric powder. That's it. Make sure the chicken pieces are not very big. They need to be really medium size, about 2-inch pieces, or 1.5 to 2-inch size is just perfect. Because we are going to be soaking the rice for about 25 minutes. So within 25 minutes, if the chicken cut is very big, the chicken may not cook. So make sure the chicken is just about 1.5 to 2 inches in size. Just mix this up well. Generally a biryani marination time of about 25 to 30 minutes. But in this case, you don't really need to marinate it for that long. You could do it for just 10 minutes, and I'm also going to be using chicken stock. So basically the biryani is going to be very, very flavorful. So that's it. The chicken is done. And let's see what has happened to the onions. Onions have also started to brown. As I had told you, I have cut it really fine. So this browning happens very, very fast. Okay, now you see this onion is absolutely golden. Now we won't waste much time. We'll add in all the chicken to this, the marinated chicken. Let's add in some green chilies. In form of spices, we haven't added anything so far. So let's add some good amount of green chilies. And now we have to mix the chicken very well with the onions, and we have to let it brown. That's more important. Since we are doing this in a pressure cooker, we have enough surface area. Just make sure that the chicken is not on top of each other like this. So the surface area is stuck to the bottom, and we have even browning all over. Once this browns on one side, we have to flip over and cook the other side. So when you do this on high heat, all the juices of the chicken are entrapped within, and this makes your biryani moist. So if the chicken is moist, automatically the biryani is also going to taste moist. This entire sauteing has to be done on high heat, but make sure just mixing this continuously. Okay, now comes the time to add this masala that we've ground. So this masala that we've made, we'll add in now. Very, very flavorful. The best thing is to make it and use it right away. Okay, after this, we'll add in the rice. I'm using basmati rice here. After you've added the rice, just mix it once. I mean just once. The rice is very well soaked. If you keep on mixing it, the grains of the rice will break. So just once, give it a light mix. That's it. Or if you find it difficult to do it like this, just do this. That's it. We'll add in chicken stock to this. When we had done the marination, we had added salt. So before we add salt, once again we need to check if the salt is perfect. So let's check for seasoning. Some more salt would do. And to this, I'm also going to add some chopped coriander. And now we wait for a boil. Okay, the stock has come to a boil. I'm going to close this with a lid. That's it. Once you've closed the lid, we'll cook this for about 15 minutes on low heat. And after which, once the pressure is settled down, open the lid and serve the biryani very hot with raita and salan. Salan is another very popular Hyderabadi dish which is generally accompanied with all biryanis. In Hyderabad, it's served free. With every biryani, you get one bowl of salan. Salan is a gravy which is made with mungfali, which is peanuts, and sesame seeds. It's ground together. I will surely show you this recipe. But in the meanwhile, enjoy Murg Yakhni Biryani.